Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is Simon's Trading Channel. I'm Simon, and it's Friday. I do a daily Bitcoin price analysis, and this one is for the last working day of the week. Everybody loves a Friday. Uh, Friday's pretty important on CME because clearly they get the weekly closure. Not so important on the other exchanges for Bitcoin because clearly they're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Wow, they must be tired. Anyway, let's get straight to it. But before I do, quick disclaimer, this isn't financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. Anyway, on the weekly, as you can see here, extremely boring. And if Bitcoin doesn't do anything significant over the weekend, coming into Sunday night, which is when the weekly closure will occur on my preferred exchange, which is Bybit, that is 2 days and 13 hours, then it will remain within this quite tight weekly range. Um, I'm more interested in the wicks personally, so somewhere from 49 to 38.5, because unless you're trading the weekly, the lower time frames you can take on the lower time frames, you can take advantage of the price that's held within these wicks, um, which we'll come on to in a minute. Just as an observation, and this is crazy objective stuff, I put like this box of randomness, as I'm going to call it, just around this price segment here, which effectively it kind of looked pretty bouncy, but it was just a sideways range. And the weird thing about that box, so you can see what I've done. I've just taken it from the wick highs to the wick lows, and then pretty much for when it started to consolidate to when it broke out of that consolidation range. If you just take that box and move it up to here, this is slightly voodoo. You can see it's about the same height. There's a difference between this wick high on this weekly and this wick high on this wick low on this weekly. So that's just an observation. It doesn't mean anything in reality, but it's quite fun to look at charts and stick some boxes of randomness on. Who knows? Maybe we'll go up and down sideways until Monday, the 15th of July. If we do, I'll be extremely surprised. But there you go. Right, more interesting stuff is clearly to be found on the lower time frames. So let's just switch straight down to the 4 hour from the weekly, completely ignoring the daily. The reason I did that is you can pick out a nice range to look at on the 4 hour that is less obvious on the daily and the weekly. And because I have a propensity to the lower time frames, well, that's where I'm going to draw some random lines on the chart, of course. And they are random, and I'm not under any illusion that they're anything more than random lines. I could put them in other places, but effectively, what they are is, in my opinion, logical lines. And the reason they're there is just to give me a steer when I'm then looking to have a bias on price direction. And clearly, if you're trading, you need to have a bias on price direction. Otherwise, you would just never put in a trade or you just look at the chart. So, yeah, I've got my two lines of randomness just by here. I'm purposely ignoring this section and these highs just because I want to see where most of the price action was captured. And most of the price action through this segment was captured between these two lines. So that's why I'm putting them there. They seem logical to me. They may not seem logical to you. But that's what I think I'm going to do today. Now, clearly, what I'm going to do now is drop down to an hourly, and you can see that the hourly has been up and down, ranging between these kind of lows, kind of 41.8, give or take, and then the current the range high, which is basically 43.5. So when I come to my time frame of choice, which is the hourly, I'll just stick one more little line, ideally somewhere in the middle. I think there's a couple of options here that you could choose, both of which are logical, and it's probably more of a rectangle than a line. But I can't be bothered with yeah, go on, let's do a rectangle. Why not? So if I was to be a cool guy and draw on some magic boxes of randomness, I would draw them like this. That would be my magic box of randomness. And reason why is that helpful? Well, effectively, within the short term, within the hourly-ish time frames, price above there has been going up, and price below there has also been going up. But you know what I mean? Price has either been above or below this box of randomness. Now you can draw it as a straight line if you want, but I'm drawing it as a box because I've decided to today, and for not any other reason than that. I didn't rehearse this video. It may become clear. I just do it spontaneously, and I don't know, maybe when I've done a few dozen of these videos, then I'll think I should rehearse and have some sort of notes or script to go by. But at the moment, I'm just talking as I'm looking, and I'm talking as I would if I wasn't on YouTube, because I often talk to myself when I'm trading. No, I don't. I talk to the dogs because I've got 3 dogs. Anyway, so clearly, Bitcoin on the hourly bounced from this region, tested the top of there, tested it again, came back down, bounced from this region again, and is back up. It's now going sideways on the lower time frames, right? So that makes my life a bit easier because I'm looking at this thinking, well, I don't want any of this stuff in between. So what I'm going to do today is, and in fact I've already done it, I'll have a conditional market order below this scrappiness for a short, and a conditional market order above this scrappiness for a long. And then I will take, I would prefer it to go short because there's more room, in effect, if my box of randomness is right, for the price to come down and therefore potential profit. If it goes up, then I will have to take some profit up this line of randomness and then see what happens. For more upside, what you'd like to see, if I was to break out a magic pen of randomness or brush, it's a brush according to TradingView. If this sort of thing occurred with a retest of this top line of randomness, that would look really good for more upside. But clearly, that's in the future, so I don't know. I think if I had an expectation, and this would be a complete guess, I'd expect something more like this. Maybe come back down today, sideways over the weekend, and then see what happens into early next week. So as always, it'll either go up or down. I mean, that's the life of a trader, right? You got to figure out which one you're going to go with, or it could just go sideways, straight up, straight down, or sideways. Now that is top quality price analysis. But that's why I put conditional orders in above these kind of consolidation areas, because then if the price does start to trend in either direction, I'll be in on it, and hopefully I'll be able to make some money out of that, which is at the end of the day why we do trading, or certainly why I do trading. Anyway, I'm going to draw a line at that because it's coming up for 10 minutes. So the weekly, boring as you like, sideways, like this big arrow I'm just drawing on. But the lower time frames, hopefully we'll see some price action in one direction or the other. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow on Saturday.